dashur shikues të televizionit tema, ky është edicioni më i ri i emisionit Expo. E sot kemi ardhur për vizitë në kampin Bond Still, ku do ta bëjmë një intervistë me një oficer këtu, i cili është Eisenhard dhe do të na tregojë më shumë për jetën e tij, misionat dhe të gjitha detajet e tjera që e karakterizojnë atë. Officer, tell us more about yourself, your childhood, where did you study, and all the other stuff that tell more about you.
Okay, sure. Well, I actually grew up in the state of Michigan, and Michigan is an interesting state because it's got big city areas, but it also has very country areas in the woods, farmland, stuff like that. And that's where I grew up, in the farmland part. So we had lots of trees and forests, and I grew up in a small town of about 3,000 people. The nearest big town of probably 10 to 12,000 people was 35-minute drive away. So small little village where everybody knows everybody, you know. And I went to school, I played sports, I did things like band, all the programs that were offered, and really had a good time, had a really good childhood.
And after that, what did you study at school, actually?
Well, I started out with social studies and history education to be a social studies and history teacher, and I did that while I was in college. I also played sports in college as well, played basketball. And as I was doing that to help pay for college, and because I love what the military stands for, I joined the National Guard. So I would do the National Guard while I was doing college. And so college took a little longer for me than most, and that was because I had to go to basic training, and then towards the end I was deployed to Iraq. So it took me about 8 years to finish everything. I finished with a degree in teaching, like I said, history and social studies, and then later I went back for my master's degree in special education.
Mm-hmm. What made you join the Army?
Well, so several reasons. I mean, the first thing, and this is what I tell anyone, all my students as a teacher, I tell them, if you're going to join the Army, you know, you have to do it for the right reasons. If you don't have the right reasons, don't join. Just because the money sounds appealing, or job stability, or the adventure, that's not why you want to do it. You have to believe in our country, what it stands for, and you have to be willing to put yourself in a situation where you're going to maybe surrender some of your freedoms, some of your liberties, and give that up to go be part of something bigger than yourself. And if you can do that, then you start looking at the things such as money for college, which for me was a very good incentive because college is very expensive.
How was your experience at the college?
It was good. I had a great time. I mean, playing sports was a lot of fun because all the athletes were very, very good. So the challenge was so much higher than it was in high school. Everybody was there for pretty good reasons, so all the people were great to interact with. It also provided people from different backgrounds than mine, so it let me get to know people that had different philosophies, that disagreed with me, whether it be politics or teaching, and that helped me become a better person by learning that about other people.
So after that, can you mention some of the missions you had during the Army?
Sure, yeah, I've done a lot in the Army. I initially started out as an enlisted soldier, and I was what was called a combat medic. And so it's basically like a paramedic or an EMT. I would be the person who would be the first provider of medical attention to a soldier who needed help. And then I would coordinate getting them back to an upper level of care. That's what I did in Iraq. After my deployment to Iraq, I was fortunate, and that's how I became a warrant officer, which is a very rare rank, is I went to learn how to fly helicopters, specifically the AH-64 Apache helicopter, the one with the missiles and the guns. If you put it in front of, you put all our helicopters together, people would say that looks the coolest. That's what I flew. So, and that was a great opportunity. Upon finishing that, I actually then, due to some circumstances, I transitioned into the drones, and now I work. Before this deployment, I worked coordinating the pilots with the drones, with the airspace and the mission, and basically doing a lot of the behind-the-scenes stuff to make sure the mission works. Then this deployment came up, and it gave me the opportunity to volunteer for a job that's different than all those jobs, and that's a job as an escort officer in the Joint Visitors Bureau, which is basically anytime a senior ranking officer from the military or a person, a head of state, a congressman, a senator, anytime some of those people come to Bonsteel or to our area, I'm the person that helps build his itinerary. I help coordinate all of his meetings, and then when they arrive, I actually take them from place to place and keep them on track and make sure, you know, hey sir, too many handshakes, we gotta go.
So how's your experience with the last mission you're doing right now?
Oh, okay, the last mission, that just ended a day and a half ago, and I was tired. We've been going pretty hard for a while, so I was able to kind of relax a little bit now. But it was a good mission. We were able to take the general that came to visit. We were able to take him so he could visit all of his troops from his state. He was from Indiana, so we introduced him to all the Indiana people, which is our aviation assets, the helicopters you see over there. So we let them get some time talking to those people. Then we showed them some of the sights of Kosovo, and we even got to eat in a local restaurant. So,
did you like the local restaurants here?
Loved it.
The city?
Yeah, the restaurant was phenomenal. The city, there's always traffic, but that's okay. There's always traffic in any city.
Yeah, sure.
So
what can you tell about all the time you spent in Kosovo? Which time would you classify as better than the others?
Well, so I had an opportunity to escort Senator John McCain from Arizona. That is my personal highlight. That was just a great opportunity because he's been around for a while, and he's done some things in his life that are just, or had experiences in his life that are just, most people will never ever have. And so to sit with someone with that type of political experience, with that type of personal experience, and that type of military experience, to me was phenomenal. Outside of that, I've had a really good time seeing some of the various sites around here. Fortress Kalaja down in Prizren. That was a great experience that I got to go to. Seeing Mirusha Falls to the west, that was really cool. The abandoned airfield that the Italians built, that's pretty cool. You got a fully functional airfield there. So yeah, a lot. Seeing the people, seeing the place, learning new things, learning new people. It's great.
Your job is to meet different kind of people. How do you feel with that? How do you find a similar language with each of them? Is it hard?
Well, do you mean language in the sense of like English? Or?
No, I mean the cooperation with them, you know?
Yeah, sure. So, I'm a teacher, as I said, and you can learn a lot about people because most kids are a little less filtered, but when those kids become adults, they're still kind of the same person. So I constantly watch the beginnings of all the different types of people in the world as a teacher. So I see all the different types of personalities and how people interact. That gives me a very broad base of knowledge. So this is going to sound crazy, but when I meet someone who may be different than myself, that I don't have a lot in common with, I just think of a student that they remind me of. And then I think of that student's interests, and then I will then start to ask that person about those interests. And I start to say, oh, how about this? And then you'll eventually, they'll find something that they want to talk about, and then that's it. Once you found that, it just goes.
How long will you be staying in Kosovo?
Well, we can't give exact dates of when we come and go, but we'll be staying through the summer, and then I'll be going home in time to start our next school year. So I missed one full school year, so I'll be right back home at, summer, fall time frame, and I will be able to jump right back on my job.
Yeah. Will you come and visit us again?
Absolutely, I will. No, I absolutely will. I'm probably going to take a live-aboard cruise out of Greece, and 5 years down the road, because I have a very young baby and I have a 2-year-old daughter. But I told my wife, when the kids get older, we're going to take a cruise out of Greece and we're going to fly to Pristina. We're going to fly into Pristina International, and we're going to rent a car, and we're going to go through Fairzai and eat at Apollonia. We're going to stop at Fortress Prizren. We're going to see the newborn statue while we're in Pristina, maybe even the Bill Clinton statue, and then we're going to drive down to Greece. I will come back. I've had a good time here. I've had an excellent interaction with the people. I actually like this place. It's pretty cool.
So thank you so much for having us here in Camp Bonesteel, and we hope you'll have a great life ahead.
Well, thank you very much, and thanks for taking the time to talk to me.